All right, so we're back for another deep dive.
Yep.
And today we are going to be talking about voice search and AI,
Very cool.
which, you know, I think most people think they have a pretty good handle on,
Right.
but I don't think most people really understand just how pervasive
Yes.
it is becoming in terms of consumer behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I think a stat I saw recently said that over half of all smartphone users now use voice search.
Oh, wow.
And so it really is becoming the foundation of how brands need to be thinking about interacting with their audiences.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's no longer a question of if voice search is important, but really how deeply
Right.
it's already integrated.
Yeah.
And I think what we want to do today is kind of cut through the noise
Right.
and really give you a solid understanding of how this voice and AI shift is impacting marketing specifically.
Yeah.
We've sifted through a ton of information for this, so you don't have to.
Right.
But this is sort of a rapid immersion into what's really important.
Right. And what's really driving this whole voice revolution? I mean, what's going on here? Why is it so important?
So,
I mean, is it just the novelty of talking to our devices?
yeah, right. It's certainly fun to talk to our devices, isn't it?
It is.
But I think there are a few things
Yeah.
that stand out as drivers. First of all, just plain old convenience.
Oh, yeah.
You know, being able to
Search hands-free.
search hands-free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Set reminders.
Mhm.
Even shop online while you're, in the kitchen
Right.
or behind the wheel or juggling a million things.
Yeah.
It's just a huge draw.
Yeah.
Then there's this increasing integration with all of our smart home devices.
Mm-hmm.
Voice is becoming the default way to control our connected lives.
Right. It's like the remote control for our entire smart homes.
Exactly.
And also I think there's a growing comfort level with it.
Absolutely.
You know, as the security and privacy measures improve, I think people are feeling more confident using their voice for more interactions. So, okay, we've got this landscape. Now let's really dive into the tech behind it.
Go.
What's making all this possible?
Right.
And really, I think that boils down to the power of AI,
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah. At the heart of voice search is artificial intelligence, and more specifically,
Okay.
natural language processing, or NLP.
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 Okay, so what is that?
What's really fascinating is that NLP acts like the brain.
Okay.
It allows devices to understand not just the literal words that we're saying,
Yeah.
but also the context,
Mm-hmm.
even sometimes subtle emotional cues,
Yeah.
and ultimately your intent,
Okay.
what you're really trying to achieve.
So it's like the why behind the what.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's moved beyond just recognizing the words to understanding what we mean by them.
Interesting.
And as NLP gets more sophisticated, those voice assistants are becoming more accurate
Mm-hmm.
and, crucially, much more helpful in anticipating our needs.
It's like they're getting better at understanding what we mean rather than just what we say.
That's right.
And this isn't just a static thing, is it? This technology is constantly evolving.
Oh, absolutely.
How does machine learning fit into all of this?
Through machine learning, these devices are in a continuous learning loop.
Okay.
They're constantly learning from our behavior.
So the more I use it, the better it understands what I'm looking for?
Exactly. Your preferences,
Yeah.
your routines, even the unique characteristics of your voice all get analyzed by the AI.
Okay.
And that allows it to tailor search results that are increasingly more spot on just for you.
Wow.
It's really a dynamic process of learning and ultra-personalization.
So it's not just about understanding what I'm asking right now, but actually building a knowledge base
Yes.
to answer my questions better in the future.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive. And I imagine all this data being collected isn't just for our benefit as users.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, businesses can tap into this as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
AI isn't just facilitating those interactions. It's constantly analyzing the vast ocean of voice search data.
Right.
And for businesses, this is like a gold mine.
Yeah.
It gives them incredibly detailed insights into what their customers are actually looking for in their own words.
That's a great point. I mean, rather than trying to guess what keywords people are typing in,
Right.
they're actually hearing it from their own mouths.
Exactly. And by identifying those patterns, companies can sharpen their marketing strategies.
Right.
And personalize their messaging
Yeah.
in much more meaningful ways.
So we know voice search is a big deal. AI is the engine behind it.
Mhm.
This leads to amazing personalization
Yes.
and valuable data for businesses.
Absolutely.
So how do businesses actually optimize for all this?
Okay.
Let's get practical.
Let's get practical.
And let's start with keywords. I'm guessing that's a pretty significant shift from how we thought about SEO in the past.
Yeah, definitely the way we speak is so different
Yeah.
from the way we type a query.
Right.
So in voice search, we're seeing a move away from those short traditional keywords,
Mm-hmm.
and it's more towards longer, more conversational, question-based natural language queries.
I mean, think about it. I'm way more likely to ask my phone, what's the nearest coffee shop with free Wi-Fi that's open till 6 p.m.
Exactly.
than I am to type in coffee shop open late Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it's about understanding the intent behind the question,
Right.
not just the keywords themselves.
So it's less about individual words and more about phrases.
Yes, and anticipating what the user really needs in that moment.
Okay, so what does this mean for marketers? I mean, are short keywords obsolete now?
I wouldn't say obsolete, but the focus definitely needs to shift towards those long-tail keywords.
Okay.
So those longer, more specific phrases
Got it.
that mirror natural human conversation.
So put yourself in your audience's shoes
Yes.
and think about the questions they're actually asking out loud.
Yeah, and there's some great tools out there that can help with this.
Like what?
Well, one is Answer the Public.
Okay.
And then also pay close attention to Google's People Also Ask section. These can give you really valuable insights into how people are actually phrasing their searches.
So anticipate how people naturally talk about their needs.
Exactly.
Okay, and once we've identified these questions, how do we use them?
One of the best ways is to build out FAQ-style content directly on your website.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So structure your content
Mm-hmm.
so that it directly answers those questions.
In a clear and concise way.
In a clear and concise way, exactly.
Okay.
And, look at your headings, your
Right.
subheadings, your body text.
Mm-hmm.
Does it sound natural? Are you using common phrases?
Right.
The goal is to make it easy for voice search to pinpoint the answer
Yeah.
and deliver it.
Got it. So conversational keywords and direct answers.
Mm-hmm.
What else should we be thinking about?
We'll keep hearing that local search is incredibly important.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that too. Why is that?
Well, a lot of voice searches have strong local intent.
That makes sense.
People are using voice to find businesses, services, information
Mm-hmm.
while they're on the go.
So they're saying, find a coffee shop near me or
Exactly.
the best pizza place around here.
Exactly. And because of that, optimizing for local search is absolutely crucial.
All right, so how do we do that?
Well, the first step is making sure that your business listings are completely consistent
Okay.
across every single online platform.
So Google, My Business, Yelp, all the local directories.
Everywhere your business might be listed, make sure it's the same everywhere.
Okay, and what about the actual content on those listings? Is that important too?
The content itself should include your NOP, so your name, address, and phone number,
Got it. NAP.
and make sure it's exactly the same on every platform.
So consistency is key.
Consistency is key.
Okay.
And then go beyond just those basics and create localized content
Okay.
that really resonates with your community.
So talk about local landmarks.
Exactly.
Upcoming events, things that are relevant to people in the area.
Absolutely. And don't overlook the power of geo-targeting in your advertising.
Right.
That way you can target your ads to users who are physically near your business.
So if I'm walking down the street and I say, where can I find the best tacos?
Right.
A place that's optimized for local search is going to pop up.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I'm searching for, best hardware store near me and the local store has optimized their listing and they've got content about local neighborhoods, they're much more likely to show up.
Absolutely.
Okay, because we talked about keywords, we talked about local SEO.
Mm-hmm.
What about website performance? I mean, is that even more important in the world of voice search?
I would say yes, absolutely.
Why is that?
Because the vast majority of voice searches are happening on mobile devices.
Right.
And so having a website that's responsive and loads incredibly quickly is absolutely crucial.
Because people are on the go, they want answers fast.
Exactly. They're not going to wait around for a
Well,
slow website.
If it takes too long, they're just going to move on to the next result.
Absolutely.
So what are some specific things that websites can do to improve their speed?
Well, there are a few key techniques. Start with compressing your images
Oh.
to reduce file size,
Right.
implement caching mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
So frequently accessed data is stored locally,
Okay.
and streamline your website code.
All right.
Minimize and optimize your HTML, your CSS, your JavaScript
Okay.
to reduce those loading times.
And then obviously, designing for touch navigation,
Yes.
making it easy for mobile users to navigate the site,
Exactly.
simplifying the user experience,
Mhm.
calls to action.
Absolutely.
All right, so lightning fast, mobile first website, that's the entry ticket.
Yes.
Now let's talk about something that sounds a little more technical, structured data.
Okay.
What is that and why is it so important for voice search?
Structured data is often implemented using schema markup.
Okay.
And it's basically a way to provide clear signals to search engines
Mm-hmm.
about the type of content on your website.
Okay.
So you're basically labeling your content so search engines understand what it is.
I was like, is this a product review? Is this an FAQ?
Exactly is this local business information.
Okay.
And by doing this, you increase the likelihood that your information will be featured in those voice snippets.
Those are those direct spoken answers that you hear.
Exactly.
And you ask your phone a question.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is if I'm a business and I want to make sure that my information is being served up in those voice snippets, I need to use structured data.
Absolutely. You're basically speaking directly to the search engine
Okay.
in a language that it understands perfectly.
And what types of content should we be prioritizing for this structured data?
We'll definitely prioritize FAQs
Okay.
because they align with the conversational nature of voice search.
Right.
Marking up your local business information is also essential.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have customer reviews or ratings, make sure those are marked up as well.
Got it. FAQs, local business information, customer reviews, all marked up with schema.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, obviously, we have to talk about content because content is king. Does the rise of voice search change the type of content that we should be creating?
Well, the core principles of good content stay the same.
Okay.
It needs to be informative, accurate, authoritative.
Mm-hmm.
But with voice search, there's an even greater emphasis on clear, concise, and easily digestible answers.
Because it has to be spoken out loud.
Exactly.
Right.
And you might want to consider diversifying your content formats.
So using video infographics, even podcasts.
Exactly. Those cater to different learning styles
Mm-hmm.
and search contests.
Okay.
And don't forget about storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Storytelling is a powerful way to make your brand relatable
Yeah.
and memorable in those voice interactions.
So we've got clear answers, we've got engaging content,
Right.
and obviously we want to keep it fresh and updated.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's look ahead a little bit. What does the future hold for voice search and AI in marketing? I mean, it feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, we are just getting started.
Yeah.
One of the most exciting things on the horizon is hyper-personalized voice experiences.
Okay, explain that.
So AI is going to become even better at delivering real-time personalization.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a voice assistant that adjusts the content product recommendations, even the tone of its voice,
Wow.
based on your individual preferences and your context in that moment.
So it's not just looking at my past behavior, it's actually understanding what I need right now.
It's anticipating your needs in the moment,
That's incredible.
and the experience becomes tailored to that current conversation.
So it's like having a personal assistant
Exactly.
that knows me better than I know myself.
That's the goal.
Wow. And obviously we can't talk about the future of online interaction without talking about shopping.
Of course not.
Voice commerce or v-commerce.
E-commerce.
It's a huge opportunity, right?
It is. The projections for the growth of e-commerce are massive.
Okay, so what do brands need to do to prepare for this?
They need to streamline their voice checkout processes,
Oh,
ensure the security of those transactions, and create a seamless integration of voice into their omnichannel customer experience.
so it needs to be as easy to buy something with my voice as it is to buy it on a website or through an app.
Exactly. It needs to be intuitive and secure.
Frictionless and secure. That's the key.
Absolutely.
And as voice technology continues to evolve, how do you see it interacting with other technologies?
We're already seeing voice converge with augmented reality, virtual reality, and the Internet of Things.
So it's all starting to come together.
It is, imagine using voice commands to navigate a VR environment, or using your voice to control your smart home devices.
It's all becoming so interconnected.
It is. It's about creating these really immersive, voice-driven customer journeys.
Okay, so to wrap up all this amazing information, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
All right, here are some key strategic tips.
Okay.
First, make voice-focused keyword research a regular part of your marketing.
Okay.
Second, design your content with a deep understanding of user intent.
Mm-hmm.
Third, prioritize local SEO and make sure your NAP information is consistent everywhere.
Got it.
Fourth, leverage structured data to help search engines understand your content.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth, conduct regular audits of your website for mobile UX and page loading speed.
Yep.
And finally, track your voice search analytics
Okay.
and be ready to adapt your strategies based on the data.
So track, measure, and adjust.
Exactly.
Now, are there any specific tools or resources that you recommend for our listeners?
Well, for overall search performance and mobile usability, Google Search Console is essential.
Okay, Google Search Console, got it.
For uncovering those long-tail keywords, SEMrush and Ahrefs are excellent.
Right.
Answer the Public is specifically designed to help you understand those question-based queries.
Mm-hmm.
And for implementing structured data, Yoast, SEO, and Schema Pro are very user-friendly.
Okay.
And finally, for creating conversational content, AI writing assistants like ChatGPT and Jasper can be helpful.
Okay.
And OpenAI's Whisper can help with voice-to-text analysis and integration.
All right, so we've got a whole toolkit to work with here.
What do you...
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the main message is clear voice search and AI are not just trends. They're here to stay.
They are absolutely here to stay.
And they're reshaping the entire marketing landscape.
And brands that embrace this evolution
Yeah.
have a huge opportunity to gain a competitive advantage.
They can increase their visibility, improve engagement,
Yes.
and really just strengthen their position in this new world.
Absolutely.
And it really makes you think, how is this growing reliance on voice going to change our expectations as consumers? How will it change what we expect from brands in terms of, immediate, personalized, and contextually relevant information and experiences?
That's a great question and something for everyone to think about.
Yeah, definitely something to consider.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.